Good evening, everyone. As Danny mentioned, we go from one event to another, so we lost our voices, so I apologize. I also have to apologize for my English is not as good as the other candidates over here. Although I'm here, I've been in Israel 34 years, but I came when I was 3 years old. So, from an American family. I was born in New York. My parents made Aliyah together with me and my oldest sister, and right after the Yom Kippur War. We grew up in a religious Zionist home. Grew up in Rehovot, then Jerusalem, most of my life. And actually, in the last 10 years, I've been living in Gush Etzion and Neve Daniel. I see some of my neighbors over here too, very important friends. My background is pretty ordinary in the religious Zionist. I went to Yeshiva High School and then Hesder Yeshiva, and I served in the Golani troops. Later went to the legal faculty in Bar Ilan University. And in the last few years, I've been involved in several battles. The main one was the battle against the disengagement. When Sharon came out with a plan, it was December 2003, we saw what is coming, and we understood that if we don't get together many lawyers to fight this thing in the Knesset, in the courts, we're not going to have any chance. Unfortunately, we failed the battle, but we did form the legal forum for the land of Israel, and we got together over 150 attorneys that volunteered, and all the steps that took place before fighting the disengagement, the legality of it, and afterwards taking care of the people that were evacuated from their homes, that unfortunately until this day are still living in caravans, and to say the least, are not doing very good. No. An additional battle that we took, we thought was very important to deal with, was the battle against the corruption in the government. We took the main steps regarding the corruption with Hirschzon, Olmert, Ramon, Katsav, and we forced the suspension of part of these ministers, and we brought all the materials to the Attorney General that later on pressed charges against them. And I think we found a big connection, I would say, I'm not afraid to say that, between the corruption in the government and the disengagement plan. It's very interesting that right before he came out with the disengagement plan, he was on the line to be pressed charged with getting bribery, being bribed, and maybe finishing his political career, Ariel Sharon. And suddenly he started with that plan. So we think this thing it's happening again with Olmert. Olmert is being investigated in 7-8 different cases, and suddenly he's more left than Meretz. He's more left than Shulamit Aroni. So ask yourself a question if that doesn't have a connection to the situation that he is in it. As a resident of Judea and Samaria, I'm running in the Likud as on the place reserved for this district of Judea and Samaria. Israel is divided into 10 districts, and this is one of them, I think very important. And my assumption is that in the near future, even if Netanyahu is going to be in power, and I hope he does, it's going to be put on the table again, all the areas of Judea and Samaria, and we have to make sure that it doesn't happen again what happened in Gush Katif, because every single civilian is paying the price of the disengagement. People sometimes think it has to do with someone living here or there. The country as a total and every single individual is suffering from the disengagement that we defined it as ground zero. We gave all the ground, we got zero in return. Not only that, we actually got more and more terrorism and missiles and Qassamim. As an expert in constitutional law, I believe that all these battles that I tried to lead outside of the Knesset, I could do even better in the Knesset. I discovered something, it's very simple, but I discovered that all we needed in the Likud the last time is 4 members that would have raised their hand against rather than raising their hand for, in order that this whole disengagement wouldn't have taken place. That's it. And all I saw was going on in the Knesset and all the pressure that was put upon the members and all the fact that they had no knowledge. I discovered that out of 120 Knesset members, only 10 actually do legislation and know the work. The rest of them, they come to me and they come to people like me and they ask how to do things. So I just believe that if I am in the Knesset, I can do a good job. And most of you can't vote for me because you live far in Jerusalem. Only people living in Judea and Samaria can vote for me. But thanks for coming here to support us, and I hope we bring in the best list in the Likud. Thank you.